Good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing? Welcome to another casting from the CGC tournament. We are already in round 7. One game in round 7 losers bracket. We're going to be seeing Innomine Satanas facing Xanthiax, which is going to be a very interesting game. And we're getting closer and closer to the finals, ladies and gentlemen. Very excited about this. So let me just switch to the review screen. And tonight I'm going to be joined by the lovely, amazing, and super awesome Mel Gwent. Let me unmute you for a second. And where is it now? Now I've lost it. Okay, there it is. Shoot!
Hi, thank you for having me. I am super looking forward to this one.
Yep, let me put your video on screen. And there we go. Come on. Come on. Come on. There we go. Excellent.
There I am.
So, how are you doing, my dear?
I am doing good today. I am ready for this match. It's actually our teammates, so it's kind of funny. Yeah. So we're not biased at all.
It's LGC versus Team Bandit Gang, and it's me versus Mel Gwen tonight, in a sense.
We're not biased at all.
Let me prepare the bracket. I'm gonna add myself as a spectator. Okay, we are ready. Let me inform the players that we're gonna be ready to go. Okay, just very briefly, we had the bands already decided. Xanthiax will go first, and he will play with ST Dragons and Syndicate Townsfolk. While on the other hand, Innomine Satanas will play with Mil and another ST Dragon. So there's a very good chance we're gonna see a mirror match here. The bans were NR Cohen for Xanthiax and Shub Kambi for Innomine Satanas. Mel, what do you think about the bans and the decks that we're gonna see tonight?
Yeah, so I've seen a few NR Cohen matches in this tournament. The deck is really strong in the long round, especially in the right hands, and both these players are the right hand, right? There's a reason that they made it this far, so definitely the correct ban there. Pretty strong deck. Shoop can be also pretty strong in its own right. Has the Getty for the push. Shoop can be a little bit flexible. The Redea, of course. The Sneaky can be. So kind of sad we won't be seeing any Sneaky can be moves today, but kind of excited for what we will be seeing because it should be spicy as well.
I do feel that the bans here were very strategic.
Yes.
We are gonna see two dragon decks, and I'm not big favor. I don't really favor these specific decks. It's not my type of deck to say in that respect. But in total, I do feel that both players will try to use them as efficiently as possible, and they both proven that they are very good in playing this game. So I do feel like we're gonna see some pretty fun matches. And without further ado, let me start the match so we get things going. Start the tournament. I need to edit this very briefly.
Yeah, I've played a few games with the Squirtle Dragons deck in this tournament. I'm not a huge fan of it. It's a little anti-synergistic. Can be really fun and flexible, though, if you kind of use those dragons in an interesting way. So the mirror should be interesting. I hope we get to see it.
Yeah, Xanthiax is going to be on blue coin. I do feel like he might go for the Syndicate Townsfolk for blue coin, but it's something that we need to see first. What he's gonna decide, and let's just not forget about Mil. Mil here has been a very underperforming deck, I would say.
Yeah, and I wish we could forget about Mil.
And in all sense, it might go well, but it also might not go too well. It all depends on what kind of RNG.
It depends on what you're pulling.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the Mil could be interesting against the Dragon's deck, since Dragon does play Saskia, which thins your deck, so you're really taking away a big weapon from your opponent if you do get that matchup, right? Because opponent's not going to want to play Saskia, not going to want extra thin there.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we won't see Saskia played.
So yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see how both players will approach this matchup. We are waiting for them to get ready. They are preparing. Yeah, they're preparing. Perfect.
Yeah, dragons can be played on any coin. If I'm remembering correctly, it does use TA as the stratagem, not the scroll that we see a lot in this tournament. So dragons could be a nice blue deck. Townsfolk, I believe, uses the scroll, which makes it a nice blue deck. However, it doesn't have a ton of points round one to push. Depending on what your opponent plays, could risk yourself losing on even or overcommitting there.
Yep, and Townsfolk does have a very, very, very specific combo that you can pull off. Let's see what they're gonna do. Game one. Game one, round one. Let's see. And indeed, we are going to see Xanthiax on Townsfolk and Mill on Red Coin.
Mill. We're going right into the mill. All right, let's go.
Okay.
Ooh, so you see that Iterum? We like to see that in hand.
Yep. Iterum, though, is not a combo that should be used in round one. It's gonna be. It's gonna be. It's gonna be very. Yeah, it's gonna be very early to be used, so it's not really that helpful for him. Innomine
Kingslayer in hand.
Innomine finished with his mulligans. He got the Kingslayer over there, and Xanthiax is thinking very good about what he's gonna do with his last mulligan, and he's not gonna use it.
All right. We'll just save it here. So let's see how Xanthiax starts out this match. This deck, this Townsfolk deck, also has double thinning, so we did see Xanthiax mull away that thinning.
So he probably wants to keep the coins, not having to use the coins early for anything other than what he wants to pull off.
All right, and he's just gonna grab that Igor right away, which is a great pull against this mill deck. You do not want that Igor milled. It is a key part of your combo here.
Mel, can you please mute the microphone on the video link?
Oh.
Yeah.
There we go. Am I not echoing?
Yeah, now it should be better, Glazier. And good evening, guys. Good evening, Rodriguez, Squidward, Decode.
Hey, guys.
Mogni Topur, Glazier. I hope you're doing well, guys.
All right, and Satanas just opening with the Mata there.
For young is the night.
Ooh, a Tibor in hand.
Oh, that Tibor is one mean type of card, especially after its buff.
Big boy.
A big bully, more like, not a big boy. The moment that drops down on the board, oh my god, 15 points with immunity. And we see Uchion now on board, Satanas is gonna try to take advantage of that Uchion buffing something
yeah,
on
it's
his
a good
board.
engine, good to drop early. We see MK down for Xanthiax, another good engine. Nice to generate some coins, and of course, very familiar with that card from Ladder as well. It's a good 2-point a turn engine. NK should help Xanthiax get his boat out. Satanas doesn't have a lot of answers here.
And he still didn't try to use his Kingslayer. Of course, that's not gonna play too many copies of it, because he doesn't have, he's missing quite a few cards that could replicate.
Yeah, so we might see him holding that, which isn't going to bode very well for him. You kind of do want to mill early typically. Here comes the Kingslayer. I am wrong, and just one of those thinning cards, which Xanthiax is not too upset about there.
Then probably that's why he mulliganed that back into the deck.
Yeah.
And we have the Ventor dropping on Millie Roll.
All right, so just for the damage there,
Bloody good fun.
which is a great spender we can use. MK still generating, no answer for MK in the deck except for Yenvo, I believe.
Probably yes, the way this game is right now. That tax collector in Imke play for a lot of coins. I'm not really sure if it was a wise idea to use them now, because it would be nice to have them later on, but
They combo really well.
he's getting that coin production, and he can do things with his cards. While on the other side, Innomine Satanas is kind of in a peculiar situation now. He can't really do a lot of things.
Yeah, the informant's not going to be great for him. Tax collector comes out, no spender. He is getting behind a little bit on points at this point. We do see the Ring of Favor in hand though, so should help him out. Squirrel's there for boat. Right, and Professor coming down with the tribute on the urchin.
No urchin. He's back in the graveyard.
No more urchin. No more urchin. So Xanthiax up by, decent amount of points. Nothing to laugh at. So we can see if Satanas thinks he can make this, how much he wants to commit. With Mill, you typically need to win round one. Risk of getting
Okay.
losing the game otherwise.
And the... Oh my god, Xanthiax committed his second tax collector as well.
So these townsfolk are not going to be generating a ton of points. This deck displaying MK, 2 tax collectors, and the shady vendors are good for generating coins, but we see them all drop right away. Boat comes out, and it looks like Xanthiax takes round 1. So we will see what he does with the round control here.
Okay, this is interesting. Will Xanthiax actually go for a 2-0 here? He does have Idoran in hand, he does have Igor in hand, and he has townsfolk as well.
He does not a lot of ways to generate coins though. He does have leader, which can boost them.
Okay.
That's the quickest pass we've ever seen, right?
Mm-hmm.
But good luck milling me now. So, Santana's got like 3 cards here, so he'll probably get rid of the Jacques, would be my guess with that trader.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, so that's a big spender for Xanthiax. This deck doesn't have a lot of spenders, kind of forces him to put all those coins into that Sea Jackal now. So it's pretty good he has that in hand already.
He can probably use a few of his coins with the priest and probably the cleric of the flaming rose. But yeah, that sea jackal is gonna be a big target for Yennefer.
Yes, and of course we do have the townsfolk as well, which will also be Yennefer targets. Yeah, not like we saw a lot of milling going along in round 1. I don't really think there was much Satanas could have done with that hand. We do see 2 Blight Makers in hand for him, though. 2 of those newly buffed Nausicaas, which will play for a lot of points.
Mm-hmm. And that Tibor. Don't forget about that Tibor.
And the Tibor.
Yeah.
How can we forget about the Tibor?
And of course the Vilgafor is a very, very, very dangerous card, especially if he opts to, if Satanas opts to completely mill his opponent's deck, but I don't think he's going to be going with that route anymore. That's not important.
Yeah, I think if you pull something out of your opponent's deck with the Vilgaforts, could wind up benefiting your opponent at this point. Could brick the bank, but still 5 cards left in deck, so I feel like Xanthiax will use that earlier than it becomes a bricked card. The squirrel just dropped on the boat there.
Oh. Okay, this was a very, very early Yennefer.
It was an early Yennefer, and it was also a very smart move because now he is denying Igor value and Idoran value. Of course, Idoran actually works with the cleric, interestingly enough.
Well, there is one more townsfolk in the deck, and he does have Vivaldi Bank.
So he's likely to get it with the deck being so thinned, and Tibor just dropping down and fusing that Idoran.
And I think we're gonna see a Vivaldi Bank, maybe?
Igor just dropping down first, so...
I think that's gonna be a Vilgefortz target. I think that's gonna be a Vilgefortz target. There we go.
Yep, there we go. So Vigilforge drops. We'll see what he pulls for Xanthiax.
Oh!
Okay, just a sewer reader. So kind of breaks the thinning that Xanthiax has in his hand. He's not too upset about it. Would be pretty happy if he pulled that townsfolk, though.
Mm-hmm.
We see the bank here. Likely just, yeah, townsfolk just dropping
As a
down.
girl, I always dreamed of having drapes.
So we have no Igor, unfortunately, so no real way to copy this, I believe. So we'll only see one townsfolk here.
Yep. Only one townsfolk, so that either run is negligible at this point of the game. And the Blighter comes down from Innomine Satanas side. That special value there. Ooh.
Oh, we might not see any townsfolk because the T-board is coming down and infusing that townsfolk right away. The Blightmakers, of course, a lot of points. You typically see them round 1 for some points, some thinning, guarantee your draws round 3, but round 3 they're going to be a lot of points with double Blightmaker in hand.
Okay.
So we see some Iteran value with the Cleric, which I always thought was kind of interesting.
And we have a few leader charges here from Xanthiax just to boost that townsfolk out of danger.
He's just gonna buff it up a little bit because kind of scared of that second Blightmaker and the T-Bor, of course.
Well,
We see connection loss.
we have a connection lost here. From which side though? Okay, we're back.
All right, let's go. I know I want to see the end of this match. I don't really think it's certain what will go through here.
Yeah. I mean, Satanas has the advantage here. He has a lot of points in his hands. I'm not really sure how Xanthiax will spend his coins, but let's see.
And interestingly, without too much control in this mill deck, he was able to control Xanthiax's combo pretty easily. It looked easy to me.
Okay.
So Morven coming down, gonna draw townsfolk.
Okay, so he put the Yennefer back in
Yes, with the Assayer.
back in his deck, and he has access to it again. That's probably.
So we have double tall punish, so it's probably game over here.
That's gonna be very difficult for Xanthiax to recover from.
Especially with just that one little townsfolk on board, can be easily answered with that second tall punish. So Jackal's gonna be our spender, just dropping down a little bit. Of course, getting that little extra boost if you're above 7 coins. So who's there?
Oh, we have that cleric going.
Cleric is going to be great here with all these extra ones spawned.
Mm-hmm.
Cleric will turn those 1s into 3s with a little bit of armor, of course. Really also great spender. Nice way for him to go wide instead of tall here because that Yenbo is looming. We're just no townsfolk in the townsfolk deck now.
Okay, Satanas opted for a very weird choice here. I would expect him to get the Sea Jackal, but he also took away the value from the Cleric. Xanthiax does have another Cleric in hand, but that means that his coins need to be. He need to be very careful how he's gonna use his spawns here.
He does. And Ludovic is dropping. I don't think he paid the tribute there, no. So,
Well, there was a double Yennefer played, so there is no real way for Satanas to do anything to that Ludovicus. And also now Xanthiax has the chance to play this a bit differently. He can take his time. He can calculate how he's going to use his coins, because when Ludovicus goes on, he's going to be another 9 coins in the bank, in the pouch. So that's very, very important.
Exactly. So spending having to be done soon, but not very soon. He still has one more turn to kind of sit and think how he's going to use these coins, and he can put them into Jackal. It's not a problem. Like we said, all the tall punish is gone, and then just turning some of those 1s, some of those 2s into 3.
Okay, and the Nausicaa Surgeon comes down for the massive play There,
Yeah.
10-point,
Just 10-point play, just casual.
just pure point slam, that is all.
Yeah. All right, so looks like we're seeing Shady Vendor dropped here. Tools aren't great.
He can't take the smuggle
The
just to
smuggle
have...
would
Yeah.
likely be the choice here.
Oh,
We see the hysteria taken.
maybe he wanted to avoid the self-clock there, because his rolls
Yes.
do get very, very spammy here. So he wants to keep as much point as much space as possible empty for him to use. And there we go.
Jackal again. He could spend once more with the cleric, turn one of those 2s into 3s because Ludovic can go off, fill the bank again, and of course he's free to just spend with Sea Jackal.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, there we go. So empty bank, full bank. No boat, unfortunately. Boat was squirreled, but that Nausicaa dropping for 10 points here.
Okay, 22 points difference. I don't think he can make it. That sewer raider is bricked.
Thank you there.
But he's gonna try to manipulate his coin as best as he can. Giving 2 fees to the Sea Jackal.
So cleric dropping here. He is going to pay the tribute.
Oh,
Lots of maths going on here.
hold on. I think he can actually do it. He has the coins.
Oh, he does have the coins in it. So that Ludovic is doing really well for Xanthiax here. Feeling that bank actually wound up being really valuable. Oh, but the T-board.
Okay, he does make it. He does make. Oh my god, he does make it. Oh
so
boy.
Very strategic spending from Xanthiax. And he
boy.
makes it by 2 points.
This is the first
That was
time.
a good one.
This is the first time I actually see someone playing Townsfolk in that way. Every single person who played this deck mostly focused on using the synergy between Igor and the Nidoran and Townsfolks. That was the combo in this deck. But here Xanthiax tried to play as efficiently as possible. He did try a lot to avoid the mills coming from Satanas side, and he did manage to have enough points in the end to get that to get that win. Just 2 points. He managed to make it. It was a very good play.
Very close. He played it really strategically. Didn't really have an option to use that Igor Townsfolk combo because it was answered, but he really worked well with what he had. Those clerics wound up working out great for him. Very, very well. They made a lot of points, and he played that really intelligently.
Yes, Glazier, you're right. I think the second Yenvo should target that Sea Jackal. That Sea Jackal played for 20-something points.
He possibly could have waited and then picked his best option.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're right. No spenders in the deck. A little early, and we are seeing the Dragon Mirror.
Okay, one more mirror in this tournament with one of the most very difficult decks to pilot in this tournament as well. Like we said, the Dragon's deck is a deck that has removal, but traditionally not too many points that you can play on board. The only really proactive play here is using Saskia, which is in the hand of Xanthiax, not in the hand of Satanas so far. And he's going with the mulligans.
On red coins, so likely going to take advantage of that Saskia. Oh, and we see the bricked knickers.
Bad knickers, bad boy.
Oh, I'm getting like trauma from my match. I bricked knickers twice in a row.
I remember.
He doesn't cooperate for me. And no Saskia in Satanas' hand, so
yes.
Let's see if Xanthiax decides to push with this Saskia. Crystal Skull pretty good in this matchup. Nice to buff up some engines. So looks like Satanas will try to get out of here using some of his movement combinations. Let's see what Xanthiax decides to do here.
He starts with Saskia.
does start with the Saskia, and it's really good to push on red coin. I don't think that that's what you want to see pulled from Saskia.
No, really, but
It's on the
it's...
board, but it's better on deploy. Santana's just dropping that Cat Witcher there, and that's going to combo really nice with that Sentry. And hit Saskia as well. You know, this deck has a lot of tall punish, but doesn't go tall itself, so it's going to be interesting. Some of these cards are not going to find a ton of value.
And we have a very early Villager Mendrith. I think I pronounced him right. We have a very early Villager Mendrith on from Xanthiax side. He's basically trying to target that Cat Witcher or make it a bit more difficult for Innomine to play something other than that's going to be too tall.
And of course, the Cat Witcher is going to be buffed every single turn, so the villain is likely just going to destroy that Cat Witcher because it's going to be the tallest unit on board. So it really won't get a ton of damage, and you saw Satanas holding that Crystal Skull. I suppose he can buff something like Knickers to bait the burn. Would be an interesting play to keep the Cat Witcher alive.
He didn't though. He kept it and...
He did not. So he is just letting the Cat Witcher die there. Yeah, we see the Circle of Life from Xanthiax, so guaranteeing the burn with Cat Witcher was 50-50 with Maxi.
Yep.
With Xanthiax saying, nope, we're going to guarantee that. And now Xanthiax with his own Cat Witcher engine on board, so looking kind of scary on red coin here.
He does have the advantage so far, but let's not forget, Satanas has some options here to play around a few of his cards, but the question here is how much does Satanas wants to commit?
Yes, and he's floating that Crystal Skull. The Xanthesis on board, of course, Xanthesis 5 damage. You can kind of spread it however you so please. So likely was going to target the Cat Witcher, but not anymore with that Sentry dropped from hand. And the armor keeps it out of damage.
Something that we didn't notice, that Circle of Life, actually, because it didn't get the death blow, it randomly buffed something in your hand. It actually buffed that Torque. So that was a very, very lucky buff
very
there.
lucky.
And it actually got the Sentry there all buffed up to 6 points, so it made that even more difficult for Satanas to remove. That Synthesis Blaze there just has 5 charges, but it can't really kill any of these units here.
No, it can't. What it can do, though, now is damage that Sorceress down. So I wonder if that's how he uses it. And we see the Saskia dropping down, and it will pull a... This card's interesting. Has Harmony, of course, but not really used for its Harmony value here.
Yep. He can opt for the damage or maybe the Dwarf. He goes for the Dwarf for the very, very, very easy buff there.
Yeah. And so he'll damage down the Sorceress. Really no way for Xanthiax to buff it that I'm aware of. I don't think so. Okay, so now he's up by a decent amount of points. Xanthiax, of course, does have that Saskia still going. Unfortunately, with this deck, not a lot of pulls for Saskia, but again, just really great for your thinning round 1. So really good round 1 find for him there. Of course, Santana's used a lot of cards that he would want to pull from his Saskia round 1. So if he does find that later in the game, could be a little awkward. I think Xanthiax is thinking about the pass here.
He's not.
We just see the Torque instead. I wonder why he's holding that Leader Charge. Of course, Leader Charge pretty much just there to synergize with Torque. Keep some of your engines alive. We can see Ike here. It's a decent Ike for Satanas, of course, damaging something by 9, getting Zeal if you have a Dragon in your hand, which you most likely do with this deck.
The weird thing here is that Xanthiax dropped the Torque without taking advantage his last leader. So I'm not really sure what he was thinking there.
Might be saving it to protect some engine, although I'm not
Probably.
sure what. Typically, that's the point of torque in this deck, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is to kind of use it to bounce those leader charges off of. Okay. So Satanas cannot pass here, I believe. That Cat Witcher, if he hits right, will be doing 2 damage now with his adrenaline, and we're getting the extra buff here.
Okay.
So it's like we're just...
Ooh, and he got... Oh, he got the thing from the box.
Yes.
Okay, this is a very, very interesting play. He sacrificed that unit to get that thing of the box, and 13 points farm is not a joke. He can literally just use it here to just go to push even more and just win round 1, or he can use it as in a bleed in round 2, or to defend the bleed. That's a lot of points. 13 points is a lot.
It's a lot of here. Of course, we have Xanthiax Blaze. Gone for Xanthiax. We does have his Ike in hand, which can find a lot of value. And now that he used his Saskia, however, it does not get Zeal. So Satanas might be smart to just drop that thing in the box here and get out of here. Because things are getting a little awkward, but he chooses to to lose on even. Of course, he does not know Xanthiax's hand. Even though I don't think that would have gotten him ahead, would it? Because the back row was filled.
Yeah, theoretically, Xanthiax could commit that Ike as well, and that Ike, because, well, he would be forced then to keep playing because he wouldn't have any...
he wouldn't have the zeal there.
Yeah, he wouldn't have the zeal, but still, he could commit that and actually win round 1, even, like, in a card down.
Yeah.
But he...
I mean... all Satanas had in hand was the torque, so a little awkward there, but yeah, thick doggo. And we do see that Satanas finally found the Saskia, as well as his own thing in the box. Xanthiax going for that last leader charge here. Saskia could be a little too late here, but we will see.
We got the Knickers. Knickers
he
coming
came out right away. And we'll likely see some leader charges here for Satanas and Saskia. You do want to keep up tempo when you're getting blood, especially when you lose on even. So that Saskia not going to keep up tempo, but again, just really great to drop that engine right away. That thing in the box is a lot of points, so that Ike is looking very mighty scary right now.
And with 2 dragons in hand, that thing of the box is gonna die very, very soon when it drops.
Alright, and Xanthiax Blaze, just 5 damage, lots of points. We're uneven right now.
We have the Synthesis on board. That's another untargetable immune unit.
This deck has a lot of hard to pronounce cards.
Mm-hmm. But here is the question now. What if Satanas uses that puzzle box? That puzzle box might be very dangerous. Because I don't think there is anything on Xanthiax's side that he would like to exchange to get that thing out of the box.
You know, the Maturger Break is not a great card, but it does give Zeal to the Ike. Keller also not splendid here, but would likely lose the thing in the box gamble.
Yep. And now the puzzle box is just out of adrenaline, so this is negligible. This plays only for 7 points.
So this will be 7 points. It might do it for Satanas at this point, 7 points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the thing in the box would just do it here for him. We get another pull from Saskia, which is really nice. Okay, there we go. So we'll see what Saskia pulls. Oh, it's not what you want to see here.
And I think here is a very good pass for Xanthiax. He doesn't really need to push more. He might just go for it, but there won't be any targets for him, and that will be a very useless Ike. And there's the pass.
Yes, there's the pass. So it's a great pass for him, like we said. No Ike targets. Really wants to take advantage of having the dragon in hand for Zeal. Nothing he really wants to play here. So we go into round 3.
Oh no, that Village Remendeth is not a good card to have
That's
in hand right
not
now.
what you want to see here.
Oh.
As well as that, spores could be kind of nasty here.
He decides to keep it in hand.
Oh, and you really don't want to see that curse here. Of course, this deck not playing a lot of Dryads, so you're not really getting that full value from the card. We're seeing 2 Cat Witchers. Yeah, this looks like a pretty easy win for Xanthiax.
It looks, but will it be an actual
We'll see
win?
how they sequence it.
I'm kind of scared because that means I'm actually cursed. This is gonna be the 6th or 7th game in a row I cast that ends in 2-0. I don't want to see that, in all honesty.
I know, I want to see more.
I want Xanthiax to win, but I want to see another game. Let's see though what happens.
Yeah, the villain just dropping kind of early, and Xanthiax just discarding, which great play because it also forces Santana to discard, or he can play that Caress onto the villain Tretmith. Just for the points. But I guess he chose to discard because it does play into the Ike and the Tall Punish. And of course, now we're not going to see any villain Tretmith value here.
Okay.
Which is fine.
There we go. This is where things will start getting very, very interesting.
Yes, so Xanthiax with the other sentry going to give an extra point every time the Cat Witcher moves, which is going to be really valuable.
And I think
Alright, so sequencing's interesting here. He could drop the Ike and hold it. Yeah, so he'll drop the Ike and hold it, which is going to turn out to be the best play here. And likely just the Rebuke. Yeah, we'll see the Rebuke down on the Ike and hope that this Cat Witcher pings it for Satanas. Satanas is praying into this Cat Witcher here.
Oh, he gets the Ike. Oh, that was very, very unlucky.
Oh my
That
goodness.
Okay. So I'm not cursed. At least I'm not cursed. That's.
You're not cursed. And Santana's better change his favorite card to Cat Witcher. Because Cat Witcher did work for him. And yeah, it was very well played by Satanas. I wouldn't even have the foresight to kind of plan that out with the hope that Cat Witcher pings it. So Santana's getting dragons through. So now we're going to see dragons for Xanthiax versus Mill for Santana. The only way to lose the game was playing like back row. Oh, because he played into Cat Witcher. So he could have played around that play by playing it. Yes, he could have played it front row, correct. All right, so last game, we are 1-1.
And it's gonna be dragons on blue coin for Xanthiax and meal for Innomine Satanas on red coin.
And it'd be interesting. I wonder if we see the Saskia played because of the thinning, or does Xanthiax just kind of disregard it?
Well, he kind of is in a very difficult spot now because actually he does need that tempo.
It's one of the. It is probably the strongest card in the deck right now. He is on blue coin. This mill deck doesn't have a ton of points to push on red, but Satanas might be able to figure out a way. We do see double Blightmaker in hand, so Satanas kind of has everything he wants. Double Blightmaker. We have the Operator. We have an Informant. So, hand looking pretty decent for Satanas. We do see the Saskia still in hand for Xanthiax.
Okay.
Okay, we see the Maxi drop. Just kind of setting up what Satanas will mill. It's a really, really great way to play around this mill deck. Making sure that you don't have too many golds on top.
But here we have Innomine Satanas dropping the Kingslayer there. Now we're gonna see some milling being done, boys. This is gonna be very, very bad. The more the game goes on, the more Xanthiax will lose cards from his deck. And the question is, what type of cards will he lose?
So we didn't really see this round one with Mill. Kind of didn't have the ideal hand, but this is the ideal hand that you would want with Mill.
Yep.
And the Xanthus is dropping. Just good for 5 damage here. Solid 10 points. Informant going down on the Kingslayer, just in case.
Okay.
Just the knickers.
It wasn't too bad.
So it's not too bad, and honestly, it's pretty good for Xanthiax since knickers does thin his deck as well, which you want to avoid thinning when you're playing against Mill typically. Score is 1-1 right now. We're in the last game, so let's see. Thomas just tries to get his milling done.
Remember, guys, this is the matchup that will lead to the finals of the losers bracket, where Rominado, or as better known in the community, Petsitos, is waiting for his opponent, and whoever wins that matchup, which probably is going to be tomorrow, we're going to be seeing them facing Rykov in the winners bracket grand finals.
So a lot riding on this game here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so another Kingslayer dropping, and yeah, just a circle of life. So, you live by the Kingslayer in this deck, and you die by the Kingslayer in this deck. It could mill some big cards, and it can mill some little cards. Of course, Xanthiax knowing what was going to be milled because he saw that Maxi there, and I don't think he shuffled it. So he knew that he didn't have some great cards at the top. So he's okay.
And Innomine gets that thing out of the box again.
Yes. Lucky with the thing in the box. Right, Xanthus is dropping. Just for points, we still see that Crystal Skull for Xanthiax. Kind of floating it a bit. No need to really use it here since he's ahead by so many points. And Satanas just focusing on that milling. Does get Cat Witcher, which is a great card in this deck. One of my favorite.
Thank God for Xanthiax, he has 2. But the nice thing for Xanthiax is that so far he only lost cards that do not really affect Saskia, minus that Cat Witcher. So he still has targets for his Saskia when he chooses to use her.
If Xanthiax does win this round here, he can pretty happily go into a long round 3 and use that Saskia there.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll still be a great card, get a lot of points here. It looks like he will win this. I don't really see... I mean, Satanas has a decent amount of points. He has the thing in the box. He has the ring. Of course, Xanthiax with the Villain Enchantment in hand. I mean, Xanthus' Blaze. Alright, so he goes with a Blightmaker here.
I would expect that probably Xanthiax, yeah, he passed. He passed because it was a good opportunity for him to pass. He will be forcing Satanas to at least commit that thing out of the box and his leader in order to win in one card, I think. I don't see any other way he can do this.
Which, he probably, Satanas should bleed this matchup, I believe. Try to get as much thinning as he can, lower the amount of cards that Xanthiax could have, and guarantee himself card advantage round 3. But the question is, how does he do this? We can do Thing in a Box and Leader. He can also go down 2 cards, which is Thing in a Box and Leader is going to be better.
He can go with the Blightmaker as well, so because that's going to play for 9 points on his side, 2 points damage, 11, and the Leader, it's going to be, I think, enough. But he goes with a Traherne. And he takes out the Oi! Ow!
Alright, so he chose to go down 2 cards, mills the Ike here, which is great tall punish. Of course, he does have a few tall cards in this deck. We'll see if we'll see a bleed here. I think we will see a bleed 2 cards down. Of course, we see Snowdrop here, which synergizes beautifully with that leader, so he'll be happy he didn't spend it there.
So that play there with the Traherne and the Thing, you would expect that he probably wanted to take another card from Xanthiax side just to mill it and get it out of the way, but maybe he wasn't expecting Ike to drop. Because that thing out of the box now, it could have survived easily.
Well, we have the Villain Entrapment too, which kills the tall unit. Could be kind of scary for Tibor as well.
Oh,
also
that as well.
Snowdrop. So we do have a few tall units. We also have the Golem. We also have these perfectly balanced Nausicaas.
Yeah, they're kind of useless though, in this round at least, because...
They are useless this round. They'll be nice round 3. We see Snowdrop, no leader, of course, not wanting to go too tall with this deck. And we will see a full bleed round 2 like we expected. So bleeding 2 cards down. Let's see if Xanthiax can keep the tempo here. He does have a lot of nice cards in his hand. All right, so we are seeing the leader charges, and I think he'll float his last leader charge like he did last time. Cat Witcher dropping, of course, won't be pulled from Saskia now, but that's okay. We have a few other cards that Saskia can pull when she is played. And Cat Witcher just being a really great engine and keeping Xanthiax up a card, which is going to be really important to keep this 2-card advantage.
That Village Remendeth might be the card that Innomine Satanas is looking to take out of Xanthiax's hands.
Yeah,
that's the only way.
exactly.
That's the only way that Tibor can be dealt with.
That card's going to be very scary for Satanas, so we see he's holding on to that Yenbo, hopefully to get that card, but Xanthiax has not dropped it just yet, dropping his engines now, kind of playing low tempo, just keeping ahead, setting up his board, doing some damage. Satanas also dropped his Urchin, so setting up his own engines. Mata comes. Ooh. Yeah, and we have the Vigil Forts as well, so I don't think that Villain Entrapment is very scary anymore. We have 2 ways to deal with it now.
Yep.
Right.
So now it will depend when Satanas will use his control options.
Yes, we'll likely see Blightmaker dropped here, I believe, just for the points. Oh, we see Vigil Fort. Getting rid of that Cat Witcher. Pulling the Sorceress, which is really nice for Xanthiax, actually. It's pretty good. He could click it right away.
Yes and no, though, because that takes away some of the value.
Still has 3 pulls, though. I don't think you're getting more than 3 pulls, especially since it looks like Satanas is kind of pulling into this round here. And I believe we got the Tempering, which gives armor to the Berserker, which is a great pull here. And oh, you see the Yenbo on the Berserker here.
Okay, this game has started to confuse me too much. Satanas is really trying hard to stay ahead. He's 2 cards down, but he's really trying to stay ahead. He used both of his control options. That Village Remendeth is still alive, and Tibor is still in Satanas' hand. He drops it
just
now.
gets dropped here, and really no way for Satanas to answer that now that the Yenbo is spent, the Vigil Forts is spent. Didn't really mill as much as he would like here. Really no way to mill further in hand. So they will both still draw 3 cards. And the Villain Entrapment will be burning the Saskia, which is 8 points, which you do not like to see. So I wonder if Satanas saves this Blightmaker or uses it. Yeah, he'll save it for round 3. It's a lot of points. And there we go with the burn.
He still stays ahead with 2 cards. That's gonna be very, very difficult for Satanas to come back from. But
yeah, 2 cards down's no joke. course, Xanthiax still has Saskia in hand with a few pulls. I think she'll work twice or 3 times.
Oh!
That is not what you want to see. You do not want to see that Mage Assassin here. And, Saskia is not going to be great for Xanthiax, but...
Well, just one card that can come out, but that's it.
he
with
has
Saskia.
leader to get rid of it. We were panicking, and chat let us know he has leader.
We didn't notice the leader. We kind of lost the leader there.
Yeah.
I thought he committed that with on the snowdrop, but he didn't.
No, he did not. Yeah.
So he can't take it back. And he can also use the Cantarella to get the maximum value from the Imperial Golem.
Yes. All right, so we see the Nausicaa is great. Squirrel's not going to be great for him. Okay, and he does put the Blightmaker back as well, using leader to put Mage Assassin on top, so getting that damage and that thinning without Blightmaker. So he's able to keep the hounds there, and the Nausicaa works out pretty nicely.
Myrton Brage in hand. That Imperial Golem will play for 8 points for sure. That Squirrel is still in the deck.
So Satanas definitely would prefer that it pulled the Squirrel, but not a little bit of a difference. We see the Nausicaa down. Nausicaa's a lot of points here.
But he has Cantarella though. With the Cantarella, he can't take the full value on the Imperial Golem.
And he likely will.
Okay. That Squirrel won't do anything for Satanas. That Myrtle Brage will be better.
Yes, that would have been a lot better. So that's kind of what you wanted to see, but 50-50, and that's what happens when you play Mill sometimes. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But we will see the full value on the Golem, which is nice. We also have some statuses on board, so Hunting Pack will do the thinning there, 8 points. I think Xanthiax does have enough points on board, especially with this Matron Sentry combo.
The Spores will 5 value on the Nausicaa. The Myrtle Brage will get the value. That plays for 9 points. He has Saskia in hand. I don't know. I think it's difficult, very difficult for Satanas to win this.
I think it will be very difficult. Unfortunately, the bleed didn't go exactly how he would have planned, but he had to take that bleed there. And Golem just getting the 12 points there. So Xanthiax with 20 points. He does have the Matron. He has some vitality going on the Sentry.
That Chariot is doing the good gods work, getting that armor on his units, protecting them from Tibor, and it's Xanthiax game. It's definitely Xanthiax game.
So Mill not Satanas' way, but congratulations to Xanthiax.
Well, he passed. Okay. That was very, very unexpected game.
It was.
First 2-1 to Bogas. No, it's not my first 2-1. It's just that I had like 6 games I casted in a row that were all drawn 2-0.
In a row.
So it's good to at least see the 3 games. But it was a very, very peculiar matchup. The second and the third matchups were a bit peculiar in terms of the choices that the players made. We are not judging here, but you could expect that some things could have gone a bit different for both. For example, in this game, Satanas kind of went... let me just put this up here. He kind of decided to use the thing out of the box in round 1 in conjunction with the Traherne there to get to mill something and get rid of that thing of the box, but it did force him to go down 2 cards that in the end of the day, and again with the Tibor being played, it literally gave like 3 cards advantage to Xanthiax, and it was just too much for him to recover after this. He did try to mill, and his mill RNG wasn't the best. I think he played 4 Kingslayers or 5 Kingslayers, and
I think he played 4. This deck doesn't play Teleport or Brathen, so not a lot of ways to copy those.
you're right. You're right. So it definitely was 4.
I think it
I
was
remember
4.
4. So it was 4 Kingslayers, and the best card that Xanthiax lost was Ike, which was a big loss because that Ike is definitely a very, very good removal option, toll removal option. But Saskia was unaffected by it. Xanthiax did have targets for Saskia at the time that he actually needed to use her, and most of the really important core cards of the deck were still in his in his hand in round 3. So those Kingslayers were very, very unlucky plays for Satanas. On the other hand, we did have that very peculiar play in round 2, in game 2, where Xanthiax decided to just put everything on the back row. That Ike there.
Yes, the Ike could have lived, so he could have played around that. Yeah, just row stacking.
It would be minus 17 points for Satanas. I don't remember what the final score was. Hold on, let me see. We don't get the scores here. I'll have to just go back in the vote to see that. But I think he still wouldn't have won. It would still be a few points there in favor of Satanas.
Yeah.
But still, he could have tried to make the game a bit more close. That was a very peculiar move from Xanthiax. But one thing that we should note here, when both players used the Dragon's deck in game 2, and again when Xanthiax used it in game 3, it was one of the few times that we saw the leader not being used very aggressively. So the leaders were used maybe once or twice in round 1, maybe not even at all. The players kept the one invigorate charge for later on, just to make sure that the few cards will survive when they are dropped on board in later rounds. And that was a very, very, very intelligent play for both of them, and we didn't see too many people using that tactic with
Normally they go right on the torque there for full value, but it is smart to save one just to protect one of your engines there.
Agreed. And Solitario, the final of losers is now. Not now, not tonight, most probably tomorrow. So we do know now the 2 competitors that will play in the losers brackets finals. It's gonna be Xanthiax versus Rominato. Most probably the game will happen tomorrow, and the probable grand finals date is gonna be this coming Friday. But we will update you officially on Discord after tomorrow's match, most probably, just to make sure that everything will be ready, you know. Okay, so this is getting more and more interesting.
Yes, very spicy here.
We are very, very close to the final, to the finals, to the grand finals, which is gonna happen here. Like I said, Rominato Xanthiax most probably tomorrow.
Yes.
And then we're gonna have
talking smack in chat.
And then we're gonna be having Rykov versus whoever wins from this matchup here. That's gonna be our grand final. And again, it's gonna be a great grand final.
It's gonna be a good one.
Very much looking forward to it. Before we end the stream, because I'm not gonna be actually streaming today and tomorrow like my normal times. I do have an exam coming up, and I do need to study, which is something I do not want to do, but you know. Let's just talk a bit about that Townsfolk gameplay. I was very, very impressed by the way that Xanthiax dealt that very, very difficult hand. He played that very well and took advantage of a lot of things, but also Satanas made a very questionable play when using that.
Could have held the Yenvo there. Maybe
Yeah.
held the Yenvo, let Xanthiax put all of his boosts into the Sea Jackal, or see which was bigger, Sea Jackal or Townsfolk, and kind of remove that extra spender. He did, of course, have the Cleric, but you can only spend so much with the Cleric, right? There's only so many tokens that could be boosted there. So maybe holding the Yenvo.
I feel that the key. I feel that the key right there in that game, again, it wasn't the Yenvo play. I mean, the Yenvo play would win the game for Satanas, right? But
Yes.
also, the Mill deck did not perform again. He didn't have the opportunity, minus the Jax, he didn't have the opportunity. Satanas couldn't just get that Mill going. He didn't have the operator round one and no way to put it in his hand. He played a Kingslayer, and I don't remember what that Kingslayer took out of Xanthiax deck, but I think it was something insignificant.
Yeah, I think it was a Casino Bouncer, which
Yeah.
is one of the thinning cards, which you don't want to see regardless.
Oh, yeah. You're right. It was one of the Casino Bouncers, yeah. And basically after that, he only played Traheron to get rid of that Jax, but that was it. So Mio, again, it didn't really perform well for Satanas. If probably there were a few other cards that were milled for Xanthiax there, maybe he won't make his efforts to try and play some cards to get some combos going. Maybe that will make it a lot more difficult. Kudos to Xanthiax though, that he
Very well played, very creative.
yeah, he really tried hard to avoid a possible mill. He took Igor in his hand. He kept the Idoran in hand in round one. He didn't put it back in his deck, although it was useless for him in round one. He couldn't use it, and he didn't want to use it. So he got very lucky that he kept a lot of his great options for his combo in his hand. Even though Igor didn't really play for anything, it was mostly used there to start setting everything up, but it was just taken away from the board immediately with that Vilgefortz. I really love the way he played. This is the first time I actually see Townsfolk being played so efficiently.
Yes, he played the deck very well. Didn't just stick to the one combo. When the one combo got shut down, he played it really creatively. Of course, we saw a lot of that coin generation round one, which you and I were like, doesn't he want to combo that with Townsfolk? But he had his own plan on how to make these points, and it worked beautifully.
Indeed. Two of the most common and very, very important sources of coins here for having your coin production being always piling up your pouches with coins were the tax collectors and Imge in this deck specifically. Yeah. So Xanthiax wasn't scared to use all three of them in round one, and in all honesty, I didn't expect that coin management to come in round three, which he basically after Satanas used all of his control options, he just played the Ludovicus down, let the card run its timer, get those 9 coins exactly what he needed, and he got the maximum value of all of his coin options.
So he was able to spend completely before and then full bank again, spend again.
Mm-hmm.
So Ludovicus really did some work for him here.
Yeah, Ludovicus is one of the cards that I actually like to use because it has such a great value. If you're running a deck that has quite a few other coin options, he can actually be used as a bait as well, because that 9 coins is not a negligible value. It's not a profit of 2, 1, 3, 4 coins. We're talking about 9 coins, full pouch. And just playing that, it gives 6 points to the Sea Jackal for basically just, using the fee order twice. And it's a lot of points right there.
Yeah, if you use it smart, you time it right, the card can be very, very strong.
Lafau, the leader for this deck is Line Pockets.
Yes.
So basically, the whole idea is to just, have the line pockets there, and once you get a few townsfolk on board, you use one or twice your leader to keep them out of removal range. That's one way you can use the leader, but the leader here got used in a very, very productive manner.
You played it very smart, very creatively.
Okay, oh, I don't have my mobile with me. I don't know where it is. So let me just quickly look at Twitch, see who is live. Like I said, I'm gonna be ending the stream, guys. Unfortunately, I can't stream too much these days because I do have an exam next Monday. Who is live? Oh, Piotr is live, but he's playing something else. We actually don't have anyone else here.
Tonight.
I will find someone. Yeah, we're definitely gonna be coming back with next week when we are gonna see the new card shop. Before we end the stream, give me a few. Have you seen any of the new cards of the new reveal so far?
I have seen the new cards. I wasn't very impressed with Northern Realms. The synergy seemed a little off to me, which is great because I don't like Northern Realms. However, the Nilfgaard cards looked great. So I think we're going to see some Ivar coming, pulling some of that value back. I'm kind of excited to play Nilfgaard. The art is absolutely beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for Scoia'tael tomorrow.
I'm very, very excited as well because all 8 cards we saw were actually very interesting cards. They have their
They're
own
very creative.
yeah, they have their own line of play. They can be used in probably a few different decks as well. So that gives some variety to both NR and NG. So
Yeah. I mean, Kahir is going to be scary, right? If Kahir doesn't get a rework, Kahir with those Nilfgaard cards boosting your opponent's unit, then you can suck all the value back, plus get the buffs from Kahir. I don't know.
Well, Kahir, I don't know if he's gonna get a full rework, but Kahir is actually 7 points now. 7 points base power. He's not 5 anymore. He's gonna be 7 points. That's gonna be a lot. That's gonna be very difficult. It's gonna be a very difficult card to deal with at any given point you try to take it off the board. I'm definitely very much excited for having some mobilization decks going on again.
Yeah, I know. I'm wondering what people will play those Northern Realms cards with. I'm sure people will get really creative and find some really cool archetypes to kind of find value from those cards.
Exactly. So yeah, we're gonna be seeing a lot of things, especially next week. But let's stay focused for now.
Got the finals on Friday.
We got another big game coming tomorrow. Losers brackets finals between Xanthiax and Rominato, and the winner of that will face Rykov in the grand finals, which, like I said, most probably it's going to be on this coming Friday. More information on that will be coming to you soon. I would like to thank you, Mel, again for joining me one more time, and good luck later on when you go back into Gwent.
The ladder grind.
Yes.